G'day everyone and welcome to the Aussie Cousins Wrestling Show. We are here to discuss the WWE Women's Division. Now lately we have seen some really good strides in the top end of the WWE Women's Division. The main event scene has actually been pretty good lately. So we're not going to discuss that. What we are going to have a look at today is the next stage coming through. So the mid-card titles, the undercard of the Women's Division. Has the booking been good enough, or to be honest, has it been absolutely atrocious at times for these women? If you like these kind of discussions, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. So here at Aussie Cousins Wrestling, we can make our way towards 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. But now let's dive into it. So Mikey, what we are going to do here today is we're going to go through all the people that we think are in the mid-card and undercard. So it's not going to include people like Bianca Belair, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, that kind of thing. Most of them have been booked really well lately. And there have been some really good strides lately too. What we're going to do is going to go through every single one in the mid-card and undercard and rate whether or not we think their booking has been good, mid, or bad in the recent periods, the last few months. So maybe the last 3 or 4 months or so. And then we'll come to a figure as to where that sits overall. Okay, so first up, Mike, what do you think about Alba Fire?
It's been unfortunate that she lost her tag team partner, Isla Dawn. They're actually, the Unholy Union were actually making some great strides in the tag division. I just think now she's been not even seen at all, not even in NXT. I think it's bad. I don't know where they go with her from here. I think she's going to fall away.
Yeah, I think so too. This has been bad booking overall for the two of them before Isla Dawn left. And unfortunately, it's just going to continue on for Alba Fire in the near future, I would say. She's an incredible wrestler, but now she's just on main event, essentially. Next up, we have B-Fab. And look, B-Fab can be anything other than bad. She's had a couple of matches that haven't gone any more than 4 or 5 minutes. And 2 years in a row, she's been the first one eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Yeah,
it's tough being 2 years in a row first eliminated. She needs more time. If they give more time, absolutely. She's proven she can wrestle. She just needs to be given more airtime. Okay,
next up, someone who's been in and around the main event scene, but not quite a main eventer herself, Candice LeRae.
Yeah, I'd put it in mid.
Okay.
She's last 3 or 4 months, she's really come into it. Probably is not hitting where they needed to be, but she's solid. She's good. The storylines are right where up her alley, basically.
Yeah, that's right. And look, the reason why it's mid and not, say, good is because she hasn't actually won a singles match since, I think, April last year, where she was beating Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree in a few minutes when she started her heel turn. So it couldn't be anything higher than mid. We'll give her mid at the moment. Okay, now we have the US Women's Champion, Chelsea Green.
I think this has been really bad booking. She's the Women's US Champion, the inaugural Women's Champion. They need this title to be the workhorse to give the undercard, mid-card a chance to be on TV and air. It's great, her storyline with Piper, great gimmick she's got. Everyone loves it, but there needs to be more direction, more matches with her.
She keeps losing as well, whether that's by DQ or losing in matches to Bayley, for example, for the Elimination Chamber. But it's not the booking that's getting her over. She's getting herself over. Right. The booking has been terrible of this US Championship at this point in time. Okay, next up we have Dakota Kai. Now this one's a bit interesting. We started off around the good for Dakota Kai. We pushed it back to mid. So with Dakota, there have been a couple of injuries that have hampered her lately, but it looks like she's essentially stuck in the IC title division and also probably heading for some sort of tag team role going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree. They need to give her more time, but also give her a push. I think she deserves a push. She's done the hard yards coming back. She's a really good wrestler and she works with really good anybody she's in the ring with. They need to give her a bit more of a push. Okay,
now we have another clear bad booking situation. It is Ivy Nile.
This woman's got everything. The look, the tenacity. She's even getting really good promo skills now. But just matches that win, like not being rude, Maxine Dupree. And just they're just not any validity, any sort of substance in the matches.
Yeah, and she's gone after the IC title, so obviously she eliminated Lyra Valkyria from the Royal Rumble, which would have been fine, and then lost a #1 contendership match for the IC title, and then ended up getting a title match anyway, which she lost. It's just terrible booking. How can you invest in someone with booking like this? Caden Carter and Katana Chance. First off, where are they? Secondly, what do you think of their booking?
It's terrible because they actually really work well as a great tag team. They've got unique gimmick that the crowd actually likes. The kids love it because they come out with flares and fireworks and stuff like that. They're all good as a tag. They do some unique moves, but then now they've just gone missing. No one's seen them.
So they moved to Smackdown in a backstage promo where I don't even think they actually spoke. I think it was Nick Outer saying, "Welcome to Smackdown," and they didn't say a word. Like, what is going on here? So they have been on main event, and that is about it lately. So just terrible booking overall. Next up, another contentious one. It is Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, we have her as bad just because I don't think the IC title has given any validity and there's no substance to it. She has a random match here, random match there, and that's about it, really.
And similar to what we were saying before about Ivy Nile, where Ivy Nile eliminated Lyra from the Royal Rumble, which is just terrible. Lyra should have had a long run, considering she's the IC champion. And then Ivy Nile didn't even get the original match after Royal Rumble because of that. It just didn't make sense whatsoever. Lyra is actually getting some really good popularity with the crowd.
Yes, she is.
She needs the booking to help her out now. Okay, and Maxine Dupree. What do you reckon?
You can't get better if you don't get airtime or match time. Basically, that's all I'm gonna say. There's no match. It's bad. There's no match time for her at the moment.
Yeah, the crowd like her. She's got to have something every now and then, and now she's just stuck in storylines with Akira Tozawa and Otis, which is fine because they are okay together. But give her a match every now and then to help her get better. Okay, next up, Mishin.
Yeah, we've gone for bad. It's tricky on this one. She's had a good run with a couple of matches, but now she's gone missing again. And even the matches she has, it was a short, quick storyline that sort of just faded away to nothing.
Yeah, there were a couple of DQs in there as well. She's been partnered up with BFAB for a little bit, which didn't go anywhere. She's tried to go for the US Championship, which has now obviously been held on to by Chelsea Green the entire time. It's just bad booking for Mishin. I think if she got a good run, she would actually get some support from the crowd eventually, but it's not going to happen if she doesn't get the matches. Next up, we have Natalya. Now, I'll start with this because she is actually going to go to Bloodsport as well as NWA to do a couple of matches, which is incredible. Like, you would never have heard that a couple of years ago. So, we do have this scene bad because she hasn't been around anywhere.
No, I haven't seen her.
Basically, she's had the Royal Rumble lately, and that is it. She was in a backstage segment helping out Akira Tozawa lately, so I don't know what's going on here. Maybe she is doing a lot more behind the scenes.
Yeah, maybe more training, like with the NXT people and stuff like that. You just don't know. She's always in and around the industry, but no one knows where she is at the moment. Yeah,
so letting her go out and doing a couple of outside events, I think is really good. But in terms of her WWE booking, I mean, non-existent is bad. And now, Nikki Cross. Bad.
Again,
what can we say?
Where is the White Six? Where is she?
Like we know Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas has had an injury that he's had to work through. It might have even been an illness. It was a bit secretive by the sounds of things. Probably a bit touchy in terms of Bray Wyatt and the way he passed away. But still, the others can be there. Why can't they be there?
Where is she? She's gone missing. Great lead up. She does a really good job being in the White Six. It suits her. That's what she does. Where is she?
And now we have Piper Niven. So we're going to give this as a mid. So we think with Piper Niven, her actual booking itself has been a little bit better than Chelsea Green, just because she's not the one with the belt who then has to lose. Piper Niven is actually playing her role. They're getting her to do a role really, really well. She's the heavy for the kind of coward champion. And that kind of booking is actually done relatively well. But still, she loses most matches against so-called better wrestlers.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I hope that they do push her for us for a good, give her actual split from Chelsea and she goes for it. But right now I think it's mid. It's good, but it's not great.
It looked like they were heading for a match at WrestleMania or around that weekend, but I just don't see that happening. I don't think anything's going to happen with the US title around WrestleMania weekend. All right, a few more to go here. We got Shayna Baszler. Haven't seen her for weeks. I love Shayna Baszler. She's an absolutely fantastic wrestler. But again, you can't invest in someone who's not there.
Yeah, that's right. You can't invest in a storyline if they're not there, and you forget that she's even contracted sometimes.
Yeah.
It's one of these ones that she'll pop up every now and then, like the Rumble and stuff. Maybe she's helping the joint training with the younger ID guys, but no one knows.
And then we go on to Zelina Vega, who got moved from Raw to SmackDown in the middle of an LWO match in which she was the manager on the outside. So what more can we say?
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. Another one. Why would you do that? She's part of the LWO. She's one that started with the LWO. It doesn't make any sense to move her.
Exactly. And for the last one, we go on to Zoe Stark. And similar to Shayna Baszler, she hasn't been around recently. Obviously, there was the release of Sonya Deville in the PFC. But Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark work quite well as a tag team. And Zoe has everything probably except for the promo skills.
Yeah, that's right. They can use Shayna and Zoe as a good tag team for the tag team. They get all the belts for a while. Give them that run. If they don't want to put them in the tag team division, it would work. Once again, Zoe is nowhere to be seen. It's bad.
So when we table all that up, at this point in time, for those that are in the mid-card and undercard, we have 3 people who we think have kind of mid-level booking and 14 of these female wrestlers that have bad booking. And do you know what else would be bad booking? If you didn't subscribe to the channel right now and get this Aussie charm in your WWE content. But now let's move on with the rest of the video. Okay, so overall, Mike, what do you think about the booking of the women's division?
It's a tough one because I was going to sit in the mid category. The top is very good.
Yeah.
The top level, but then it drops down considerably for me. And it's almost sometimes hard to watch when they just put in a match in the middle of a weekly show just for no reason. I really wish they need to invest in some storylines in the mid to undercard to make people invest and the crowds actually want to be there.
Yeah, I agree. And look, there appears to be a few more matches that you can see happening for WrestleMania, but those are the people at the very, very top. So looks like we might be heading for some sort of Naomi and Jade Cargill match. But then also Liv and Raquel, like they've got some sort of match happening at WrestleMania 2. And of course, Bianca, Io, and probably Rhea is where that's going to head to. But then you go down to the IC title. There's just nothing for Lyra Valkyria to sink her teeth into. She's had a couple of good matches with Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile, but there's no story behind him. It was just a #1 contenders match where the person who probably should have been the #1 contender lost that match and then got a match the week later. Didn't make sense whatsoever. The US title started off really well.
We all feel quite excited. It's going to be good.
Exactly. And then the last month, Chelsea Green, unfortunately, has just been either losing by DQs or losing to better wrestlers.
Going to NXT and losing.
Yeah, going to NXT and losing, which, by the way, was actually a really good match. But the booking of a champion shouldn't have her looking up at the lights so often. So what do you reckon needs to happen in the women's division for the booking to get better?
They need to invest in some storylines that are not just involving the title or the top 5 or 6 women. The mid-card even doesn't have to be a title for the undercard. Just needs to be some really fun, interesting storylines that work, that gets the crowd invested.
And see, they try to do this with Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree, and the crowd were really enjoying it. And then a month would go by and neither of them were on Raw for a while. And then they'd pop back up and the crowd were like, oh yeah, we actually like this storyline. Right, let's get invested again. And then nothing would happen once more. So what you need to see in a really healthy division is people are going for the title. Those that aren't around the title have their own storylines of where people are stopping each other going for titles. They've introduced these mid-card titles and there hasn't really been much of a story around them, especially the Intercontinental title. It's just been a couple of matches for match's sake, which have been great. And eventually the crowd invested them. But you can see when the booking's bad is when the crowd don't invest in them at the start of the match.
Yes.
When there's a good story, the crowd will be up for it at the start of the match. But of course, the way that these wrestlers are performing in their matches, the crowd get right into it by the end.
That's right.
So we're not criticizing these women at all. I actually think the women's division in the WWE, these wrestlers are putting on better performances than they ever have before. You look at the likes of, as we said, Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai, better than ever.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Ivy Nile, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, they're all performing above, well above, like making it worth their while to watch, you know, but just the booking's been terrible.
And then you have a look at someone like Io Sky, who floats between the mid-card and the main event. She's just about the best women's wrestler, technically, in the world at the moment. And she earned her opportunity for another title, and she managed to get it. And hopefully, she then continues on with that title, gets a big match at WrestleMania, looking like it's going to be Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat, which should be wonderful.
If that doesn't work, then there's nothing will work. To be honest, that would work. All of them work really well together.
So who could you see coming in from, say, NXT that could really help out and flesh out the women's division a bit more?
Oh, where do we start with NXT? They could have Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, even Jada Parker, Fallon Henley, JC Jane to an extent. If you really want to even start going down, even like Lola Vice could come up and do a few matches, and that would really bring it up.
Yeah, and of course the other one clearly is Jordynne Grace, but they're going to give her some time in NXT. And by the sounds of things, that was simply because they had plans at the main event level for the women heading into WrestleMania, and they didn't want to disrupt those plans because someone as good as Jordynne Grace would basically go right to the top of any division that she's in.
I still think it helps her brand as well by staying in NXT just for a few months, maybe 6 months, and then moving up around SummerSlam.
Yeah, she's going to get a massive introduction.
Yeah, that's right.
She's got a theme that people instantly know, even when she was in TNA and that first Royal Rumble appearance, people knew who this person was coming into the match. So it doesn't matter when she comes up, she's going to get a massive reaction. Okay, so what kind of feuds would you like to see in the women's division at the moment?
I reckon we should have like an old school invasion. NXT women, like the 4 or 5 women come up. You could have Jada Parker, Lola Vice. You could have JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Kalani Jordan, even rush in and start coming on the promos, a few promos on the start, maybe rush and attack a few matches, come in, announce themselves, and say, we're going to take over because this is what this industry needs.
Yeah, that's really good because they have talked about after WrestleMania that there are going to be quite a few NXT promotions. There's a bit more time on the main roster for them to actually star. So that would be an awesome way to introduce a bunch of new people. There's quite a few of them there that just have really good presence. Like Jada Parker, when you see a match of her, you can tell she's got something that is going to make her a star.
That hip bump looks scary.
Yeah, exactly.
She does that.
So why not bring her up in such a big way with a group of them just attacking these people who've been on the undercard and the mid-card of the main roster and say, no, we're taking your spot now. So watch out, here we come.
Jade would be a great leader presence for that. That would work because she's got the size of presence and just the personality skills to do it.
Yeah, she's got the might skills to really rip into people and say, I'm taking your spot right now. That would be a really good idea, I think. Okay, so what do you think about the women's division in the WWE at the moment? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and, of course, like the video so this gets sent out to more people. And most importantly, of course, is we hope that you all have a wonderful day.